digger in last year's preliminary round and Australia's best receiver. Tough challenge for both head coaches to rotate, especially given the 5 setters that these two teams went through yesterday. It'll be the American captain Taylor Sander to lead them out, followed closely by the number 4 Jeffrey Jendrick, who scored 5 points off 8 attack hits on Friday, didn't play yesterday. The number 5 is Kyle Enzing, who was impressive early on against Brazil on Friday before falling away, finished with 10 points. Wearing 14 is Micah Ma'a, a young setter out of UCLA. And a second setter gets a start as well in Josh Tuaniga, 22 years of age also, and the NCAA tournament MVP last year. David Smith wearing the number 20. And the libero making his first appearance of the tournament is the 32-year-old Dustin Watton. Is one of 5 players on this US roster with over 100 caps. A number of key players have not been involved, but they are very strong and very experienced. Labadou is the Australian head coach, took over in 2016. Has coaching experience with a number of club sides here in Poland as well. John Spurall, head coach of the US national team since 2013 and also head coach at UCLA. Well, Australia can hold their heads high no matter what happens here today. Their performances in Katowice have been full of fight, finesse and fun. They've enjoyed the challenge of going up against 3 of the 4 best teams on the planet. They took a set off Poland on Friday, 2 sets off Brazil yesterday. Can they go that extra step and finally cause that big upset they've been threatening all weekend? Tuaniga's cross-court set, big hit from Ma'a. And Australia do get the first point. We're on the back foot at points of that rally, and we're able to recover. James Weir to serve for them. Struck straight into the net by David Smith. So Australia have the first 2 points of this one. No, going long and far too long. The USA can't seem to put anything together. A setter, listed as a setter, but he's playing as a hitter with Tuaniga in the starting lineup as well. And strike this one again against the triple block. And the attack from the far side. The block doing well for Australia so far, but over the top of the frontline defense that time, and the USA get their first point. The adjustment on the shot from David Smith. Back set, and coming in with that wicked left arm is Lincoln Williams. 33 swings of that left arm on Friday. It's the first swing of it here today. Following serve is straight into the net, though. Kyle Ensing to serve for the US. Well, that's a lovely hit right back onto the baseline from Luke Smith. Another hitter who had the rest for Australia yesterday. Found a gap in between the two blockers. And they come up with the point on serve as well. A big Bo Graham block. Australia leading by 4 here. Looking very good early on, the serve from Smith. And Maher didn't do too well receiving it. And from there, the US were in trouble. Tuaniga with the tandem attack, coming in to score. Here's Maher. Only 5 international caps for the 22-year-olds prior to this tournament. He's got a prominent role in match 3 for the USA here. Bo Graham with the body shot. Not going to take 2. Instead, coming in far side was Max Staples. And the US can only deflect it out of bounds for an Australian point. Off the right hand of Tuaniga. Oh, Bo Graham with the serve down the line and in. And Australia go into the technical timeout with a 5-point lead. The USA let it go, and it went right back into the corner.
Hard flows this hard above the tape, so you're gonna have to step back a little bit. Like, you're trying to do this, but you're not passing out with your hands. So I want you to step back, give yourself a little bit more room. It's catching you high a lot. Okay. All right.
Hey, come right back. You're going to get the pace going.
Definitely don't have to block the triple. Okay, front line, we can go 50-50. All right, with Ma, it's just being fast over. It's just being low over. So Elliot, not Elliot, Link, you don't even need to probably just little jump.
Both sets of players and both head coaches very calm in the first time out of this one. Australia up by 5 though. To the USA, who won each of their first 5 in a row at this tournament last year, facing the prospect of starting this one with 3 straight defeats. It's a long, long way to go. But Australia in the driver's seat here. Down the line from Taylor Sander, the captain stepping up to try and lead by example. The right hand with Harrison Peacock. Jendrick serve. Cross court, rifle of a right hand from Staples. He sliced it really well past the double block. Harrison Peacock to serve. 5-point lead Australia again. Tuaniga setting close to the net. David Smith tipped it over, well recovered. And another score for the Aussies, Lincoln Williams again. It's a couple for him. In fact, they've got 4 different players who have each already scored multiple points. Ruaniga setting again to this near side, squeezed in really well by Sander. Picked his spot on the floor, over the top of any block that might have been forming and in front of the backcourt cover. A couple of points in quick succession for Taylor Sander now. Yet another, though, for that man, Lincoln Williams. He's shown the power of that left arm on this near side and now doing so on the far side as well. The offhand set, and he absolutely drilled it. Max Staples to serve next. And to serve straight into the net. Serves have been pretty good so far in this first set, at least prior to that one. Peacock set, Williams with the hit, this time recovered on the baseline after a deflection. Jordan gets the double block, and that's an open goal of a finish for Maher. Left with so much space to hit, right on top of the net at the centre. USA back within 4. Great reception right on top of the net, allowing the backcourt hit off the top of the block. So both Staples and Williams now each have 3. Lenzing gets involved and scores for the first time. Made a fantastic start against Brazil on Friday. He scored the vast majority of his 10 points very early on. Williams again. Against the block, Luke Smith stretching every fibre of those fingertips to get their hands up. As much length as possible. And he got it to go down off the left. And they'll get the break on the serve as well, off the top of the net for Lincoln Williams. 4 for him now. And the USA forced to call a timeout early on. Australia lead by 6.
Have to be so dialed in on that tape. Okay, that one's gonna go, but that's the last one, all right? Because he hits a lot of tape, and we gotta be so good crossing. Now we need you guys' help on the tape and on the miss-hit toss, which is gonna be short. You can help that out, okay? Hey, we're playing a lot better. Hey, side out. 1, 2, 3. Yes, sir.
Dustin Watton, the libero, leading the timeout. Very vocal, very confident, very concise. Lincoln Williams, one of 2 Australians on 4 points so far. Adds another, a left-hand lightning bolt of a serve. A man who set a joint record of 6 aces in 1 game at last year's tournament. He's got a couple already here. That's a foot fault, though. Disappointment for Lincoln Williams, stepping on the line here quite clearly. 6 points the gap, US serve. Kyle Ensing to take it. That just looped down and dropped, not quite enough. Looked like it was going to be very long, and then it dipped. And they are going to challenge it. Initially awarded to Australia. The US will request a look at the video. Does it drop enough? Quickly enough, it did. That was my initial thought. Looped down ever so fast right at the end of its trajectory. An ace for Kyle Ensing. So the US closed the gap to 5. Very significant at this stage of the first set. Well, they just couldn't help it up towards the net, the US. Several getting a touch, but nobody able to divert it in the right direction. And Australia reached the second technical timeout with a 6-point lead over the Americans.
Just get a little bit better. Hey, point by point, just a little better. Okay, here we go. Give it a go.
And keep on shooting, boys. Keep competing.
The USA haven't started a world-level major tournament with 3 straight defeats since the 2017 World League. And it's potentially facing them again here today, but they will have belief in their ability to turn this around. But Australia certainly, as we've seen at times over the course of the weekend, have belief in their ability to cause an upset. USA are going to make changes for the first time off the back of this technical timeout. Trailing by 6 points as we move on to the final stretch of the first set. Russell will come in for Josh Tuaniga. And Vika Shoji in as well for Kyle Ensing, so a double change. Russell as a hitter, Shoji as a setter. And what a big hit that was. Right down the center straight away. Towering takeoff and then a thunderous finish from Jeffrey Jendrick. On serve, coming up short, so 6 points the gap again. Bo Graham to serve for Australia. Serve well off the mark. Australia, remember, did get themselves ahead against Brazil yesterday. Trying to get themselves ahead against the USA today. With Lincoln Williams firing on all cylinders. Here he comes again. Second hit of the rally, helped up by Russell. Quick attack. A touch from Sander wouldn't go. Here he comes again. Sander against the double block and out of bounds. Although it deflected back off Sander. It's an Australian point. Let's have a look. Sander hits it against the block, which comes back against his shoulder. Australia leading 18-12, first to 25 here in this first set. Russell stopped in the backcourt. The US struggling to deal with it at the net. It would take some comeback from this position for the Americans now. Just touched over the top of the lengthy Russell, but he just couldn't reel it in with any element of control. Smith over the top of the block at the centre to score. USA are going to make changes again as they try and figure out the right formula to get back into this first set. In comes Kyle Ensing. On serve is Kyle Russell, who scored 15 points yesterday. 12 of his 33 attack hits, but he serves straight into the net. Go to the bench, to Aniga coming back in. Australia only 5 points away from taking this first set here. Max Staples to serve. Lets it off the net to Aniga to set, right on top of the net for Smith. And the break off the top of the net, favouring the Americans to call the sting out of the serve. Sanders serve too long, well ducked by Luke Perry. It's inevitable that the Australians will take this first set. They're just trading blows, these two teams now. Point by point, Australia are getting closer and closer. Sander taking off from the 3-metre line and touching it through a gap into an open spot. Neither team can hold serve at the moment. America very quickly need to change that if they're to win this set. David Smith, who did put together several good runs on serve for them yesterday. Staples did well, really well to receive it. And then it was set right on top of the net for Graham. What a dive from Max Staples here, though. It rolled short and he got down and deflected it up. And his teammates did the rest. Williams has got a couple of aces already. A rocket against the body of Sander. USA deal with it just about for now. Peacock tried to score himself, the setter. And back on the diagonal. And a blistering right hand from Kyle Ensing. Lincoln Williams coming very close to a point for Australia off that serve, but Sander right behind it, and a great recovery from Ensing over on the far side before he eventually finished off the rally. The US still can't help themselves on serve though. So Australia only 2 points away from taking this opening set. Here, Viles will come in off the bench for Luke Smith. 22-year-old who's got the joint highest spike reach on the Aussie roster. Backcourt attack with power and precision from Ensing. 4 points for him now to lead the USA. He's planted a couple of beauties on the diagonal over the last few points. Strong serve deflected right back into the US side of the court. And from there, they were always going to get on top. Back-to-back points for the Americans for the first time in a long time. Is it too little, too late? Jeffrey Jendrick getting up to 3.35 meters to nail it to the floor. It's another fantastic serve that Australia are struggling to deal with. Staples had to help it over. They can set right on top of the net, and instead, Tuaniga with the quarterback sneak. What a serve that was from Mahar. But we're hearing that there's a touch of the net here. Yes, there is from Tuaniga. Yeah, quite clearly in the end, Australian point, and surely now Australian set. Not just yet, they'll have to wait. Bo Graham long beyond the baseline, but still got plenty of set points to get the job done. Staples through the block to deflect it out of bounds, and Australia, who had the lead against Brazil on this court yesterday, have taken the lead over the USA as well, the top 2 ranked teams in the world. This time, can they build on the lead after taking the first set, 25-19. Australia looking very good on this court again as they take the first set in 24 minutes, 25-19 over the USA. 1 fewer points from attack hits, but 3 more on blocks, 3-0 in that category. And a couple more off serves, as well as a couple more off errors of their opponents. Australia led by the 6 points of Max Staples, 5 as well from Lincoln Williams. The US led by 4 points from Kyle Enzing. Take a look at the serve placement with the Australians mixing it up left and right, almost 50% down the centre as well. 3 aces for them in the first set, of which Williams had 2. Just the 1 ace for the US, who placed a much larger percentage of those down the centre, 56%, and on the left side as we look, a huge proportion versus the right. They have to regroup, rally and respond now. Otherwise this would be a very disappointing opening weekend of a tournament. They will host the finals in next month in Chicago. From that point of view, there is less significance attached to the results, especially early on here. They will no doubt want to build momentum towards the end of the preliminary round to arrive at the finals with confidence, but they know that they're already qualified for that showpiece event. It's an opportunity now for Coach John Spurall to experiment and to give minutes on court to everybody on his roster. No mistake about it, though. Those players who are playing still desperately want to win. This can be seen from those celebrations as they land the first blow of the second set. Jendrik finishing again. He's got 3 points now. First two were pure power. That one was a little more clever. The block taking the sting off the attempt from Williams. Australia can set again, though. Luke Smith towards the back of the court where it's recovered. Off the top of the triple block, helped up into the air. One Australian took it off another. Williams lashes it down across court and finds a piece of the court as well. Absolutely unstoppable with that kind of precision and power from Williams. Great defense from Mahar on the baseline. No defense was going to stop this, though. Close to 110 kilometers per hour. To an eager to set right on top of the net, the David Smith takeoff. That's about as easy as they come. Fair bit of support for both of these nations in this arena in the south of Poland. Many of these players play their club volleyball around Europe, and several of them play here in Poland. Have families here as well. The USA taking 3 of the first 4 points of set 2. And another as well, as Australia's main weapon is shut down on the far side by the big block. Lincoln Williams denied by the American captain Taylor Sander. Williams answers back straight away as Australia close the gap to 2. 6 points for him now to tie level with Staples as the leading scorer in this match. So just beyond Sander. Williams will serve. He sacrificed precision for power and paid the price. Sander to serve for the US. Covered by Smith. Helped up back to Smith here over the top of the triple block into the backcourt. A joust at the net. Back set. Here he comes again, Lincoln Williams, and lands another blow. He just keeps on coming at the US as Australia look to make a comeback here early on in the second. Contact over the top of the net, David Smith getting a hand on it, but Australia getting on top of the rally after that. Well, that time Smith was free on top of the net, but found the block in the way. Lensing, though, powered it to the backcourt instead. USA up by 3 again, 2 points away from the technical timeout. 7 points for Kyle Ensing now. one for Max Staples because the serve was very good. And Staples not getting much of a run-up at this one against a triple block and actually fired it right off the forehead of Ensing. Bang. Jedrick was trying to sneak that one through. Put it out of bounds. No touch along the way from an Australian defender, so they're back within one. And they have served with Bo Graham. Had an ace early on and then went long on a couple. Getting off the side of the block, the US by 2. He keeps on firing. Or the fingertips, the blocker on the left. Burrell's team have only had the one ace so far. Australia have had 3. Harrison Peacock, the captain, next to step up, floating one to the backcourt. The American captain recovers. Ensing had to help it over. Now a chance maybe for Australia to get on top in the rally. Staples levels the score up. Australia coming from behind. 7-7. Who will have the lead heading into the technical timeout? Peacock floating it short this time. Tuaniga to set for the big backcourt attack from Sander. The USA have had a bit of breathing room early on in this second set. They have to settle for a 1-point lead heading into the technical timeout.
Faster. I still feel like our reception is too long. We have everything here and somewhere around our ankles. Okay, we can move one step forward on everything. If we win
The block, good spots on D. And when we do have transition opportunities, we've only stuffed for points. I don't know that we've turned the ball for a point. So let's get better, make sure we're really fundamental about how we're yelling for routes, get good whacks at the ball, cover our guys. Let's start turning some points.
USA!
USA still sensing the opportunity to build momentum here in a second set that they really need to take if they want to win a match here in Katowice. You heard the Australian head coach Mark Labadou talking about the serve reception of their guys, wanting to be more proactive and stepping into it, getting on the front foot. Let's see if they can do that here. And they do get the score. Good reception, good set right on top of the net. The finish from James Weir. Max Staples to serve next. Joint leading scorer in this match with 8 points. Got it down at a nice angle, but wide of the playing surface. Off the block, and he lost it in the air. And couldn't recover it out of bounds. The score for Luke Smith, who's got 4 points. Tuaniga not quite penetrating the net enough. Australia have come from 3 points back to get level on a few occasions. They just can't get themselves ahead, though. Josh Tuaniga to serve for the US. To serve straight into the net, and we're level again. Neither team can hold serve at the moment. The US led by 3 points at 4-1, 5-2, 6-3. 10-10. Williams serves into the net. The USA break the trend. Micah Maher gives them a 2-point edge as they hold serve. First time either team had done that in a while. Big seams in the triple block. There's a brief stoppage here because Luke Smith is just receiving a few running repairs. Australia got level from 3 down at 7s, 8s, 9s and 10s. The USA have since scored the last 2 points. Those not involved at the moment for Australia, playing the role of cheerleaders. It's been a constant theme through the weekend. Really are enjoying themselves here in Poland, which they would love to end with a win. Smith bandaged up, scored the point. Tuaniga for the backcourt attack from Sander, who's taking on a captain's responsibility now for the US, who lead by 3 again. 6 points for Taylor Sander. What a serve as well as Sander Sizzler. All the way through, too hot to handle. And so are the US right now. They lead by 4. Australia will call a timeout here.
Hitting a high ball. Hey!
Come on, Scar, come on.
To winning that first set against Brazil yesterday, they did struggle in the next 2. Australia, Brazil got themselves 2-1 ahead. They bounced back in the 4th set. Australia with another huge performance and another really long set. And ran out of steam in the final set. Taking the lead in this one over the USA. 25-19 in the first, but they trail 10-14 here in the second. They withstood that barrage from Sander far more admirably. Australia set from Peacock, the finish from Smith. Luke Smith on serve now on 5 points. Back to the baseline for the score. Points for the 22-year-old. Graham late getting across. Big gap to be exploited. Australia Australia will do their very best to try and close the gap as much as possible before the technical timeout. Again, a big gap there as well to the side of Jendrik before Enzing could get across. He was doing his best diving in from the right. No touch, cross-court attempt from Mahar, so back-to-back Australian points to halve what had been a 4-point deficit. Too eager to set to the far side. Mahar this time makes no mistake. Drilling one right down to the line. And the US lead by 3 at the second technical timeout of the second set.
Way too much respect. Okay, watch his hands. Watch his hands on the 7 we can follow. Okay, watch his hands and follow his hands. Okay, way too much respect. Come on, Al!
And right now, let's get one stop on defense. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, USA. Come on now.
USA put themselves in a great position here to try and tie this match up at 1 set apiece. I'm sure both sets of players won't particularly want to go the distance after 3-hour-long matches on this court yesterday. But whatever it takes. Kyle Enzing on serve with the US leading by 3. Serving too long. Harrison Peacock. Serve for Australia now. Drop one in short. They're able to get it to Enzing for a hit. Perry with the big overhead set down the line. Tough takeoff that time for Williams. He'll go again. Better position this time, better outcome. Lincoln Williams up to 9 points to lead all scorers. And Australia looking to close the gap. The captain and most experienced player to serve again. Tuaniga got it right to the net quickly. And put it up there for Jendrik, although he's called for a carry. It really should have been a US point. Tuaniga able to set very quickly, but Jendrik called for the fault. So it is even at 16-16 now. Timeout USA.
So let's see if we can just get a side out here. You're a little shallow on that medium pass. Stay a little wider, okay?
All right, let's go side out.
Yep, here we go.
Well, the US got into the technical timeout with a 3-point lead. Since then, Australia have scored 3 straight. 16-16. They have bridged the gap. And they've done so on the serve of Harrison Peacock. America were really feeling it before then, not so much now. Walton stooping down to that one to dig it out. The serve was dropped just over the net. That led to the explosive finish from Jeffrey Jendrik. Really good recovery from the libero. Tuaniga to set right on top of the net. No touch on that one, just a rare miscue from Lincoln Williams. USA off the back of their timeout with back-to-back points. Finding their flow again. Shut down by the error on serve from Ma'ar. Now it's Max Staples. Second top scorer for Australia with 8 points. Zuniga to the far side. What a big block that was for Australia. And they're back level again. James Weir. And Taylor Sanders stopped in his tracks. Staples, did it catch the line? Yes, it did. What an ace from Max Staples, and Australia from 3 down have the lead. And now the USA calling a timeout, and in fact their lead was 4. It's disappeared now.
Keep communicating, making some plays, okay? So far this set, we've done a good job of turning a couple points. So let's get in some good spots, turn a couple points, okay? All right, head up, keep communicating. All right, here we go. Yeah.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3, USA. Hey, keep going, boys.
Here's John Spurrell, still very calm and composed in that timeout, but his team are in a bit of trouble here. If they lose this set, they will need to win each of the next 3 to win a match on the opening weekend of the competition. Come into this one off the back of back-to-back defeats against Brazil and Poland. Serve reception was too long. Gives Australia the chance to get on top of the rally, although the big block for the US bailing them out. Jeffrey Jendrick flexing the muscles. And the USA get let off the hook for the serve reception. Williams powering it straight in to the block, which was penetrating so well over the top of the net. Stahler's coming off the bench to serve here. 9 points against Brazil on Friday, 12 points against Poland yesterday. He's been their leading blocker so far. What a whack that was from Luke Smith. It was a good serve from Stahl, well recovered on the far side by Staples. Knocked it up into a really good area on the net. Australia by 1 again, 2019. Sander really struggling with the reception, had to help it over. Australia to set for the backcourt attack, tipped over the top. Didn't utilise that opportunity too well, and the US get the point again. That's a couple of times now that Australia have had positions in rallies that they really should have profited from and haven't. Final touch off the right-hand fingertips of Luke Smith. Are those mistakes going to come back to haunt Australia here in the second set? No touch on that one as well. On its way through from Lincoln Williams, so the USA get their noses ahead. Too eager to serve. Such a big stage of the match, this, right at the end of the second set. Tuaniga floating one wide of the sideline, so we are level again, 21-21. Goes to 25. If you're new to the sport, it is win by 2 clear points as well. So many sets on this court yesterday went beyond the 25-point mark. Wharton with the good recovery. Back set to Sander, who got it to go off the top of the block. The USA leading again. 9 points now for Taylor Sander. He's not getting excited just yet. Might do now, because that's a very good serve. Australia do well just to get it over. To Aniga across to the near side. Enzing against the block. Against the block again, Australian point, and what a point as well, and what a celebration from those on the court and off it. Australia level at 22. They were on the back foot on that rally because of the serve reception. And they muscled themselves onto the front foot. Elliot Viles comes in. Needs a big serve here as he replaces Luke Smith. And he gets one. Sander to chase it back to the boards, helped over the top still. Tremendous recovery from the US. The hit from Staples against Wharton again. They'll recover once more by the boards on the far side, covering every inch of this arena. Big hit again from Australia from Bo Graham. Across to the far side, Lincoln Williams, no recovering that one. The US taking blow after blow after blow. And Australia finally landing the point. Sander recovering by the back advertising boards, and then another recovery by the side advertising boards from Mahar. But Lincoln Williams finally finished them off. That's one of the rallies of the weekend here in Katowice. 11 points now for Williams to lead all scorers. And most significantly, Australia lead towards the end of this second set. 23-22. To Aniga to set to Mahar, who levels it up again. Much more simple serve reception that time. With 7 points now, he's joint second top scorer for the US. David Smith to serve. Which team will get the first set point? It's going to be Australia. And what a good job they did to get out the way of that one from Smith. Long beyond the baseline, or was it? There is a challenge. Is that for a touch off a defender or for a touch of the baseline? Let's find out. So, look at whether the ball has clipped the baseline here. It hasn't. It wasn't as close as it first appeared. So, set point, Australia. Polish fans around this arena behind the underdogs. So are they. Can their teammates on court see this one over the line? Bo Graham to serve. To Aniga, setting for the backcourt attack from Taylor Sander to tie it up at 24. 4 sets on this court yesterday going beyond the 25-point mark, and another will go beyond that mark today. Sander keeping the US in it. Both teams have made some changes. So St. John as the setter for Australia in place of Peacock. Enzing will serve for the US. It's first to 26 as it stands now, win by 2 clear points. And Enzing right back into the corner. There's going to be a look at the video. The referees want to make sure. Kyle Enzing looked like he'd found the corner on that serve for an ace. Would be his second of the match. certainly found the line. Right at this stage of the set to want to be absolutely sure. Australia are going to call a timeout here. The US have a set point to try and tie this up at 1 set each.
Okay, we just prepare early for this. Prepare our arms early, keep it in the middle. Okay, it's not going to hit exactly on the line again.
Heads up, go, let's go. Let's get it.
Here, coach Mark Levendew of Australia saying he's not going to hit it right on the line again. Australia will hope not. And of course, their very own Samuel Walker scored 4 aces in a row yesterday. 6 in total through the match. As Kyle Enzing got another up his sleeve. No. Here's the emphatic and abrupt answer. 25-25, Australia to serve. First to 27 now. England goes to the bench and in comes Shoji for the US. Harrison Peacock to serve. Dropping one over the net. Shoji to set, cross court to the far side, and a big hit from the other substitute, Kyle Russell. That's his first point today after 15 yesterday. Lovely set from Shoji, almost the full width of the court. Set point US. And they've done it, despite the very best efforts of Australia, scrambling around the court to try and recover. A superb serve from Micah Marr. And the US get level in this match, surviving an Australian set point to tie it up at 1 set apiece, claiming the second set, 27-25. The roller coaster ride of a set involving these two nations. There's plenty of them over the course of the weekend. The USA coming out on top, 27-25, as we look at the spike contact points for them. 42% coming across to the left side, just 26% on the right. Teams have scored an even 25 points from spikes through the course of the 2 sets so far, as we see the Australian contact points again more heavily weighted to the left, and they were dead even in the second set as well. 15 points off spikes each. Very little to choose between them in that regards. It took very little to to separate them. Just the 2 points, 25-27, going beyond that 25-point mark once again, as 4 sets did on this court yesterday. Both of these nations competed in monster matches and monster sets in their 5-set defeats. Of course, the USA were second up on court yesterday against Poland, so they've had that little bit less time to rest. Their match was a little bit longer as well, and their roster perhaps a little bit deeper. And they certainly dug deep in that second set to tie it up. What a job he's doing on serve. Mike Maher picking up right where he left off. And the ace at over 110 kilometers per hour for Maher, his second. Emphatic response from Australia's James Weir. 1-1 on sets, 1-1 in the third. Weir to serve, and to serve straight into the net. Peacock to set to the far side for Smith as Australia answer back again. Graham denied at first. Backcourt defense was scrambling around to try and get back into position. And finally beaten by Smith, who's now up to 9 points. Did that block land in for the US? It was very close. It looks like their point. And it's that man again, Mitchell Stahl, who averaged 3.5 stuffed blocks over the first 2 matches. Shanked serve reception. Australia trying to fight it off the net. And the US were always going to be able to get on top from that point. As soon as the serve reception comes back to the serving team straight away, the receiving team are in trouble. Top of the block from Lincoln Williams. Still leads the way of all scorers in the match with 12 points now, 9 of those off attack hits. The right hand of Sander to carry it beyond the baseline. That's a poor serve from Luke Smith, floating it way off the mark. Such a difficult technique to master. It takes a slight miscalculation for it to look very wrong. What a serve that was to show him how it's done. But what a recovery from Smith to keep it alive. To an eager to set. The tandem attack, not very cohesive. And Australia to try and take advantage, and you would have backed Lincoln Williams from there, but he misfires. USA are continuing their momentum from the second into the third. Lincoln Williams is a bit hit and miss at the moment. Timeout Australia.
On the first contact, okay, prepare early, fight to keep the ball on our side in the middle of the court. Fight to keep the ball on our side in the middle of the court so we can spike. Okay, don't fight to get behind it, don't fight to touch it, fight to get your hop behind it and keep it in the middle of the court to play.
Australia have lost 5 straight VNL matches for the very first time in competition history. They finished last year's tournament with 3 straight sets defeats. They have put up much more of a challenge so far this year, but still started with back-to-back defeats. They really want that losing run to come to an end. A big block to get them back in business from Bo. Bo Graham with the final touch. Some achievement to have taken sets in all of their matches this weekend against 3 of the top 4 ranked teams in the world, but I'm sure if it is 3 straight defeats here, they'll be kicking themselves a little bit that they couldn't build off some of those set wins. They're bouncing back here, Luke Smith. Back-to-back Australian points off the back of the timeout, and they are back within 1. Smith approaching double figures. Backcourt attack, Sander to smash it down to the deck. That Australian momentum that had been building to an abrupt end. Fantastic view of that spike from Taylor Sander. All of the effort and technique that goes into it. Staples went to try and touch it off the side of the block and failed. And the USA reached the technical timeout of this pivotal third set with a 3-point lead.
And doing a great job on our serve, mixing it up. 15 struggles, huh? Keep it up. Let's keep playing around here. Go. Let's get one more. Five out. Come on. Anybody? 1, 2, 3. USA. One more. Hey, Brian.
Do remember that the USA led by 3 at this stage. And the second set led even by 4 a little later on. Australia were able to get themselves back in front from that point and even earn themselves a set point at the end that the US survived and eventually went on to take the set themselves. It's a good lead right now, but it's still a precarious one. Mitchell Stall to serve. So much power behind it. What a reception that was there when Staples finishes it off. Textbook serve reception. Harrison Peacock serve. It's returned with interest by David Smith right on top of the net. points for him now. All of them attack hits. Lensing to serve. Fielded by Perry. That's to be helped over by Williams. A chance for US to get on top of the rally now. Off the block for the score for Sander again. 12 points to lead his team. And the USA are up by 4 once more. Touch taking it beyond the baseline from Lincoln Williams. Though Sanjin is the setter in place of Peacock hit. Sanj putting it right on top of the net. There was some contact, it looked like, with the net. Who though? James Weir as he came down onto it. USA by 5 then, timeout.
I have nothing else to say. I can only say the same thing. 45 timeouts in a row. Okay, you guys talk the talk, you guys do the other stuff, but in this moment against this team, this is the only time we're going to play a team that's fucking worse than us.
Lebedeau understandably frustrated. He feels that this is their chance to get a win. Certainly the most winnable of the 3 matches they'll play over the course of the weekend, or at least they would have viewed it as such coming in. With Brazil and Poland so strong and needing to win so much. The USA, a very strong nation, of course, as well, but a little more experimental, given they've already qualified as hosts of the finals. For Australia to have won the first set here and to have given themselves that platform from which to build. Lebedeau wants a bit more, and he's not getting it right now. USA remain in the ascendancy. Michael Maher up to double figures. Somehow they keep it alive on the far sideline and then off the net. They have to brace themselves again, though. The USA just kept on landing blows and knocking Australia back. The road to recovery for Australia from here is a long one. The lead for the US is 7 points. They look to win this 3rd set and get themselves in front in the match for the first time. Lensing serve bouncing out of bounds off the top of the net. Gives Australia a break. Staples to serve, the number 9 on 9 points. The 2 aces yesterday. He serves into the net here. What says it all from the coach. Just looked more focused. Like they wanted it more on that far side. There was a hesitation to try and get the ball over for Australia. He had to stretch Samuel Walker against the big American double block. They overpowered him. Our serve too long that time. The gap is still 7 in the USA's favour. Are up to double figures with 10 points, only behind Sander, who's got 12 for the US. Bo Graham comes out here for Australia. Trent O'Day comes in. He's been very efficient in scoring so far this weekend. Serve long from James Weir, though. O'Day scored 7 points on Friday and 6 points yesterday. The US reached the technical timeout here with an 8-point lead. Let's have a look at the impact of the American captain, Taylor Sander, who's the joint leading scorer in this match now with his 12 points. That big block on the far side, but 10 of his 12 have come from attack hits. He had the 1 ace as well. He's registered points in every category so far, but his attack hits have been lethal. Has led by example. The team's second best 11 points on Friday. He's surpassed that already here today. David Smith to serve with the USA up by 8. Go to the video on that one. It was very close from Smith. Let's have a look. Did he find a piece of the sideline or not? Difficult to tell from this near side of the court looking across. Oh, he did. He lands it on the line for the ace, David Smith. The USA lead by 9. This third set looks a formality. The Americans surely will take a 2-1 lead from this point on now. They're well and truly in control. Smith can't repeat precision of the previous serves. He went back to the baseline on that one. Lincoln Williams to serve. The points have dried up for him. Served up a couple of aces. Not that time, though. And everything has dried up as far as Australia are concerned, suffering a real drought right now. He didn't even get involved in that last time out, Mark Lebedew. He said on the previous one that he'd said all he could already. Williams will come out. And Stockton comes in. Curtis Stockton, who scored 16 points in yesterday's 5-setter. And back set to Stockton, who gets it to go just. There's a big block in his way. Deflection favoured Australia. Or did it? The USA are going to challenge it. Fine margins in this sport. That is why there is the need for the technology. Does this touch the line or not? The block from Sander, yes it does. Taylor Sander with the one-on-one rejection. And that's going to be an American point. No breaks for Australia whatsoever here in this third set. Trailing by 10 now. And a fault as well. They have completely come off the rails. I think that they won the first set by 6 points and took the second set the entire distance. And beyond the distance even. Losing it 25-27. Trail by 11 here in the third. Australia making a change as Elliot Viles, the 22-year-old, comes on in place of Max Staples. Dosanjh with the set to the far side. American blockers in the way to deny Walker. Ma doing well. So too Tuaniga. America keep it alive. Dosanjh to set on top of the net this time for the score. Trent O'Day in off the bench to give Australia a rare point in this third set. His first point of the match. Nailed 7 of his 11 attack hits across the first 2 matches of the competition. Stuffed 5 of his 7 block attempts as well. He's been very efficient for Australia, but perhaps any impact at this point of the third set is too little too late. There's another one on the far side from Elliot Viles, who scores his first point of the tournament. Finding a gap, a stall, twisted his block a little bit and got out of the way of it. He's frustrated by that. Ma shut down by Weir. Back-to-back scores for Australia. Still some distance behind, but that was a huge block from Weir. Tuaniga helps it back to the far side. Australians in the way. Ma will hit it from just inside the 3-meter line and gets it to drop over the back of the block. The USA just 3 points away, 10 points ahead again. Oh, he went for it again, did Elliot Viles, and this time found a big American red wall in the way. Kyle Ensing on the right of the 2 blockers. His 3rd stuffed block of the match. Stockton off the top of the block. Ma to help it up to the far side. Ensing off the top of the block as well. Recovered on the baseline by Walker. Stockton to hit it and to get the point. The blockers were really well sewn together. They penetrated the net as well, but they couldn't angle it down to the surface of the court. It was the wrong side of the line as far as they're concerned. Dosanjh to serve. All the way through and to score an ace. The US just taking their eye off the ball slightly on that serve reception. Would have to be some run on serve for Dosanjh here to get Australia back into contention in this third set, though. Slightly better with that one. It's still an Australian point, though. The reception at least forced the ball forward, but not close enough to the net for a good set. Oh, taken out wide. That allowed the 3 blockers to get tight together and to read the attack. Although the serve from Dosanjh into the net brings his run to an end. USA have a whole heap of set points to try and take the lead in this match. Kavika Shoji will come in to serve, with Enton going to the bench. Shoji too long. Australia survive for now. 16-24. Here's the score. 8 more set points to come for the US. Can they take this one? Russell against the block, recovered beyond the baseline. Dosan chops it up to Stockton. Did that get fingertips? Australia saying it did. The initial call from the officials is that it didn't. I have to feel that there was a block touch here on that hit from Curtis Stockton. They will challenge, of course. They have nothing to lose here, Australia. Does this prolong this third set? Or have the USA taken a 2-1 lead? Let's have a look at the video. Ooh. Well, first looks can be deceiving. There was no touch. Australia were convinced, but it's the USA who have taken both the second and third sets to come from behind and lead here. And they take this one convincingly by 9 points, 25-16. USA taking that third set, 25-16, to take a 2-1 lead over Australia here in Katowice. We'll have a look at the setter contact points, and look at that, 70% for the Americans in that green zone, exactly where they would want it, with all of the attack hit options available to the setter. So some really good serve receptions, putting the ball back onto the net. Some good passes as well to get them in a great position. You can see there Australia's big drop to 61%, which isn't bad, but 70% from the US in that green zone is exceptional. The Americans are very much in the ascendancy, but remember they did lead by 2-1 against Poland yesterday, and lost the 4th and 5th sets. So still plenty left in this one. Strong in the 4th, beating Brazil 27-29. So don't let that third set performance from Australia fool you. The USA will want to get the job done for a number of reasons here in the 4th. most significantly because it would give them maximum points. 3 points for a 4 or 3 set win, just the 2 points for a 5 set win. First point off the fourth goes the way of the Americans. It was a tight call. By the looks of the hesitation, the official on the far side. Let's have a look at it. Very close, but it was just out. And that's into the net from Samuel Walker, who scored 21 points yesterday, but he's coming off the bench in this one and he's yet to score. Converted more than 50% of his attack hits yesterday, that time finding the top of the net into the blocker's stall. Australia do get their first point of the set though. David Smith firing his serve into the net. Elliot Viles to serve for Australia. Tuaniga jousting over the top of the net. Then to set to the far side, and it's squeezed inside of the block by Sander, who hits 15 points for the match to lead all scorers. He's been so consistent throughout, Taylor Sander. We saw the early impact for Australia of Lincoln Williams, and he faded away. Sander certainly hasn't. He's now 3 points ahead of him as the top scorer in this match. And Stockton gets one as well. That might spark Australia into life. They needed another scorer. Curtis Stockton off the bench steps up. 16 points for him yesterday. Long set from Tuaniga to Enzing, who does the damage. The USA by 2. Taylor Sander on serve. 1 of his 15 has come from serve. Still no points for Walker. Stopped that time. Might he go again? Instead it's tipped over by Weir. Fault on the American side of the floor. Australia closed the gap to 1 again. We're missing it right-handed, goes left-handed. A bit of confusion about that attack, but US with a net fault. Back-to-back Australian scores. And they're back level. James Weir again. Towering presence at the net to clean up off that shank serve reception. Dosanjh had 3 aces yesterday as part of his 9-point haul, but he serves into the net there. Mitchell Stall next up. Dosanjh with the set off the net, but a point for Australia. Despite the takeoff position, certainly not where they would have liked it. 5-5. That serve too long from Walker, who had just scored his first point of the match, but can't build any momentum. Lensing's serve dug out by Perry. Tuaniga to the far side, Maher stopped off the block, helped up by Watton. Tuaniga, backcourt attack, Enzing picked his spot and pounced. That was a fantastic finish from Kyle Enzing. Threading the eye of the needle in between the blockers, past the backcourt cover defense. Serves into the net. And this one will remain close, heading into the technical timeout. James Weir to serve for Australia to try and get them level. And his is straight into the net as well, so the USA have a 2-point edge at the technical timeout here in a fourth set that Australia have to win.
Chance to get it over. Okay, high contact and hit it with a strong hand. Okay, on the high balls, guys, when we have a non-set a setting, we have to be here. Okay, I don't know how many different ways I can say it. I don't want you to take a cross step. I don't want you to... They're going to choose one or the other. Trying real hard to just so just get up there, and then maybe they'll try and go over you, and they'll go out.
Mark Lebanon's team trying to recover after a really disappointing third set, where they let the USA build up a big gap. Always looked to be going on to win it, ended up winning it by 9. This time Australia battling to stay close to try and stay in the match. 6-8 they trail, coming back off the technical timeout. USA on serve. Joust to the net on the far side, and the USA showing their power right now. Taylor Sander gives them a 3-point lead. 16 points for Sander. Too strong for Stockton. The serve off the top of the net from Maher and just beyond the baseline. Not by much. Stockton will serve for Australia. Backcourt attack, Enzing, did it get a touch? No. Australian point. Back within 1 again. Enzing one of 3 Americans scoring in double figures already. And Sander, of course, and just ahead of Maher. Oh, the triple block was tight, watertight. The USA holding the Australian comeback at bay. Shoulder to shoulder to shoulder. No way through. Top of the double block that time. Stockton recovering it. Hit over the top of the block again by Elliot Viles. And that time wins the battle at the net. Tuaniga setting for Stall. Flicked it up into a perfect position. Stall did the rest. 3 points for him since coming off the bench. So much to aim at. Tuaniga, the setter on serve now. It's alternating between a 2 and 1 point lead for the US. Certainly a better position than the one Australia found themselves in the third set. Sander over the top of the block, beautifully done. You could see it forming in front of him and he adjusted the shot. Incredible use of the hand, the palm, to roll it over the top rather than try to power it through. And a big double block in the way for the US. Mike Maher making the contact. And the USA up by 3 again. Stoll did really well to shuffle across from the center position to get right alongside him, but Maher had the touch. And there they are again. Stoll coming across from center once more, this time to the right alongside Enzing. Back-to-back monster blocks for the USA. Back in control. The block beaten that time by the hit of Samuel Walker, who scores just his second point since coming in. There's a gap down the line to the right shoulder of Enzing. Here goes Enzing to answer back. "13 points for him, the second top scorer in the match. Stall on serve, leads the way with 3 blocks for the USA. He serves into the net. Averaged 3.5 blocks over the first 2 matches, 3 already here despite only coming in off the bench. Walker's serve, doing his best to dig it out, was Wotton. Maher over the top, Parry diving down to greet it. The USA can set with Tuaniga on top of the net to Enzing, who unloads another blow. And the USA reach the second technical timeout of the 4th set with a 4-point lead.
Keep working with the block. Enzing from position 2-1. We still want to go mostly line. Remember, 2 and 4 have the junk. 2 and 4 have the first priority on the junk shots. Okay, and when we have a broken play, we need fast decisions. The decisions are clear. We know what they are. 1 guy plays, 5 guys get ready for the next action. Hey, let's go.
The USA getting closer and closer to a first win of this competition. A team that were defeated in the semi-finals by France across 5 sets last year. They got the better of Brazil in the 3rd place match to finish on the podium. Australia only finishing 13th in last year's VNL, their 2nd worst finish in the tournament, after a 15th place finish in 2017 in the forerunner to this competition. the World League. American block working really well again from one side to the other, but beaten by Stockton that time. Got across into a good position. Stockton still found a way through. Just the frustration of David Smith. Shoji in off the bench in place of Enzing here. He'll set to the far side for another substitute, Russell. The USA back up by 4. Too much on that from Stockton, didn't get over the top of it. The trajectory was too long. The USA up by 5, only 7 points away from taking this one in 4 sets. Micah Mayer, who's been superb today with 12 points, including a couple of aces. He's on serve. No aces that time, though. Australia determined to stay in the fight for as long as possible. They did lose each of their first 4 matches at last year's VNL Australia, trying to prevent a 3rd straight defeat at the start of this edition. It would have been expected to lose each of the first 3 going up against Brazil, Poland and the USA, but taken sets off all of them. They're still just about in this one, only just. So much power on the backcourt hit of Walker, but he just hasn't been able to measure his angles the way he was doing yesterday. 13 of 25 attack hits yesterday. He's only got a couple of points today, and he's blazed a few wildly too far or wide. Smith serving into the net. 5 points to separate these two teams, but the USA only 5 points away from winning the set and from winning the match. Elliot Viles to serve next for Australia. Shoji set. What a towering takeoff from Taylor Sander. Springs in his sneakers. Taylor Sander taking to the skies to unleash his 18th point of the match. USA making changes as Russell goes to the bench, so too Shoji, Tuaniga and Enzing back in. They should take advantage here, the US. Another chance to get on top of the rally. Sander sneaky off the side of the block. Showed what he could do from a power point of view just a few moments ago. That time it was a touch of finesse. He's closing in on 20 points. And the USA are fast closing in on victory. A fault on the Australian side of the floor. America need just 2 more points. They've opened up a big gap again. Fault on the 3-meter line takeoff. Tuaniga's serve too long. A real sense of inevitability about this fourth set now, though. Mark Labadou's team are just about done. Taylor Sander to try and put Australia away. The first of a mountain of match points. Sander on 19 points to lead all scorers in the game. Stockton's attack down the line, but wide of it, and that will do it. The USA, the hosts of the final six, are up and running in the 2019 Volleyball Nations League. After starting with back-to-back defeats, they bounce back to beat Australia. They win the fourth set as comfortably in the end as they won the third, 25-16. And having gone behind, losing the first set of this match, they take 3 in a row to make it 3 defeats in a row for Australia. 25-16 in the fourth. The USA win it by 3 sets to 1 here. They kept it close for the first half of that fourth set, Australia, and then fell away very quickly towards the end. Sanders' serve, a good one. Walker recovering, but well wide in the end, curling away from Curtis Stockton. USA avoid losing 3 straight for the first time at a major world level event for a couple of years. They are moving on to week 2 with a bit more confidence and belief now. To the John Spurrow experiment. With their place in Chicago next month already assured as hosts. 3-1 on sets. They had in the end 8 more points from attack kits, 4 more on blocks, 2 more on serve, 1 fewer on errors of the opposition, but by far and away the much better attacking side, led by the 19 points of captain Taylor Sander, 14 for Kyle Ensing and 12 for Micah Mahar, 3 on double digits. Australia had just the 1. Lincoln Williams, and most of those were scored early on. So Australia 1, USA 3, 1 more matchup to come on this court here in Katowice, and what a matchup. A repeat of last year's World Championship final coming your way soon. Brazil against Poland. What a matchup that will be in front of a packed out arena. Do join us for that one. Thank you.